Hey guys, it's Percolating, and today we are back with another Real Talk. We are back to regularly scheduled programming, but there's going to be a video coming out soon that'll tell you guys more about that. And there might be some stuff that's still a little bit changing and whatnot, and don't worry, that is going to be par for the course. But today, we are here for a Real Talk, so let's get right into today's topic. So, today's topic is one that is a little bit closer to me and me as a person. So, today's topic, as is in the title and probably the thumbnail, is vices. Now, what do I mean when I say vices? Because I'm not talking about the damn news company. I'm talking about the Merriam-Webster definition. The one that is closer to what I am talking about here is the abnormal behavior pattern in a domestic animal detrimental to its health or usefulness. It says a domestic animal, but just in general, vices can be something that people have as well. And what I mean by it is just it's a moral falling, or better yet, here's a better definition, is a habitual and usually trivial defect, shortcoming. And for some people it's trivial, but for some people it's an issue. When you think of vices, at least in the way that I'm speaking, you usually think of someone has a gambling addiction, or they smoke, or they are way too addicted to one thing or another. And that's what we're going to talk about today, because as I've recently been going through and taking a step back to realign what I want and what I need, I realized a bit about myself. And it wasn't something I was very proud of, but it was something that I felt I needed to at least acknowledge, to at least try to change. So this change of what I wanted to change was this thought that I get really into things. Sometimes more than I should, in a really bad way. Now, it doesn't mean like it's bad for me to get into these different things really deeply. But what is bad is when I'm using that to cover up certain things in my life. And I've realized that I do that a lot. This may sound a little bit odd and weird, but stick with me for just a second. When I say I jump deeply into my vices, I mean I get really into things to cover up sorrows, sadness, and other forms of just negativity in my life, instead of dealing with the negativity half the time. I try my best to deal with the negativity as it comes towards me by, doing the propers, like, oh, don't do things that will immediately destroy your health. Don't go hurting people's feelings because you feel bad. I don't do that. But what I will do is I will get really deeply and severely into the things that make me feel good. The things that provide an endorphin rush that just makes me go, wow, I feel better now. Or I feel better for right now. The endorphin rush that I can get. And there's tons of different vices that I use, I've realized. And I'll mention some by name, because there are some that I'm going to be trying to work on versus some that I will be trying to change it from being a vice to being something better. But I have a lot of vices in the sense that I'm a very sad person. I've not been diagnosed, and that's in and of itself is a video for its own thought process. But I have anxiety that is a constant thing, and I have very constant reoccurring depression that will rear its head whenever it feels like it, and it's never a good time. But anytime one of these things comes to try to hit me, there are certain things that I can always do to just make myself feel like things aren't that bad and you'll be okay. And it makes for a need of no, you're good, you're okay, you're fine, and fake reassurance that comes from doing certain activities. Now, what are some of these certain activities? Well, one of them, for better or worse, is gaming. I will sink hours and hours into Overwatch when I've had a really shitty day. I will sink hours and hours into just any game that I can pull myself to play. 3DS, whatever, like Xbox, it does not matter. I will sit down and just play any game to not have to look at the face of reality and say you're an ugly motherfucker. I will instead sit down and game for hours and hours on end until I look up and realize it's 3 o'clock in the morning and I have to work the next day. Which, in and of itself, is technically not a bad thing, but the way that I am using it as a cover-up is. So I'm trying my best to game for pleasure and not for pain. I'm trying to change that up as much as I can. Now, there's certain nuances to it because I'm also doing stuff for YouTube and also doing stuff for Twitch and streaming, and those are a very weird nuance that I constantly find myself saying, is this really for me, or is this really for is this really for pain? And that's one that will constantly probably plague me for a little bit longer. I'll let you guys know if there's any update on that one if you guys care, but for now, it's just a molding thing. But that's just one of many vices. Playing games. The other ones can easily fall into all my other geeky stuff, but the one that I especially do want to bring up, because it's honestly the biggest culprit I've realized, is masturbation. And this is gonna be a really odd change for somebody who doesn't realize that I am a very sexual positive person. If not, hello, I'm percolating. I'm a very sexual positive person. I stand for a lot of sexual forwardness from females. A lot of friends of mine are like, oh, I really like this guy, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, look, if you like him, tell him you like him. You have the same ability that I do as a male. I try to push that positivity into the world, but it can be odd. And I know it, and that's why I push for sexual equality and positivity. But at the same time, it's part of me is using it as a cover-up, and I know it. Because I know personally that I'm also slightly a sexual deviant in a way. And when I say that, I don't mean like I have sex with any and everybody and I'm a stud and I'm fucking tons of people. No. I mean in the sense that I spend a lot of time on Pornhub, Hentai Haven, and all of the sorts because it's literally a free endorphin rush. It's a very, very free endorphin rush. And when I say it, I mean literally from the chemical basis of pleasuring yourself, you get a slight high of endorphins that some people would say they have I like that feeling of, oh, I did this afterwards, but I've more or less kind of moved past most of that. Now it's a matter of, wow, I'm doing this to give myself a pleasure that I am refusing to find in other things. And that's my issue. It really is. I don't like that I'm doing that, and I am in turn trying to change it. This is one of those kind of, I'm telling you guys about a self-change thing, and it's my way of being held to my own standard type idea. But what this really means is, like, I spend a lot of time in a place where I don't want to, so I've decided I'm going to try to change that. And where does that decision come in? Well, if anybody on the internet has seen any of the memes, there's the thing called No Fap November. And to prove to myself that I have the discipline and that I can, and to try to change the fact that I use it as a vice and trying to find a different way to approach these different times of sadness, I'm trying to participate in it. It's currently the 6th when I'm recording this. I don't mind dating it. It's whatever the fuck. It's currently November 6th when I'm doing this, and I started in November. So it's already, I can already tell that yes, it is very much against me to not. And that's an issue, because it just in general, it's kind of a thing that stops me. So I've decided that this month I'm gonna try to go the full 30 days, 31, I don't know, however many days, but I'm gonna try to go the full time, and I'll report back to you guys. That's the goal of this, is to report back to you guys as hopefully a better person that I am a little more proud of in myself. Maybe I might spin off Real Talks to some other type of video series where it's like me trying to be the better person, be the better me every day. And maybe it'll be a little more in actual video, like an actual video type thing. If you guys are interested in, a series like that, please tell me. I've been tossing around a couple of new ideas, but I'm not sure whether or not to implement them because, of course, I am still testing. But this is the time that I'm doing a lot of testing of new ideas and new stuff. So if you guys are interested, please be sure to let me know. Nonetheless, I've realized that I have many vices between gaming, porn and masturbation, and honestly, the thoughts of entertaining. I entertain to cover up a pain that I constantly usually have. It's on a not as big of a scale. It's the same thing that a Robin Williams or the lead singer of the Linkin Park band. I cannot remember his name off the top of my head, and I apologize, but I do like him, but I can't remember it. He's like that same type thought process where everyone's like, "Oh, dude, you're happy all the time. How do you manage?" And I'm like, I'm not. I am a sad person, and it's not something that I like to say all the time because it's not something that people need to hear all the time. I would prefer to say something that would make someone stay better, and that's what I try to go for. That happy smile that I put on it's not a front should I say, but it is, because it's not always true. It's more of a, I want you to have a better day than I might be having type thing. I want you to have a great day, even though I'm not, possibly. But there's a slight, again, this is one of those times where it's a slight deviation and a very weird nuance in which I'm like, but am I doing this for you or for me? Because I also, again, get an endorphin rush when people are like, "Oh, that's funny. Bro, that's great." When people are laughing at a joke that I've told, I'm on a high. So what am I doing? Am I doing it for you? Am I doing it for me? It's a weird nuance that I constantly have to, again, think of for myself. And it plagues me. It plagues me often. I don't know if anybody else goes through anything similar, but if you do, maybe you want to share that experience with me and we can be in a bit of support group. The easiest way to talk to me about things of this sort are probably Discord, because there's a lot of people there who, like, it's easy to talk to me and whatnot. But I want to see if anybody else has anything of the sort that they would like to, that they feel might be a vice for them. Now, obviously, the internet is a very broad and open place that I don't want anyone putting any information that they're not comfortable with out. I am very comfortable with myself and knowing that I suck in a lot of ways. So that's why I am doing, that's why I'm doing what I currently am. It's why I feel I'm okay being vulnerable for everyone and anyone. But I do want to know if anybody else feels the same way. And if you feel like you know somebody who might, maybe share this video with them and tell them that they're not alone. Tell them that they're awesome, and that you care. Just tell them that they're awesome and that you care, that you'll be there for them, and it'll honestly help a lot. Like I said, if you guys are interested in keeping like a progress update type thing, the easiest ways to do that would be on Twitter, in my Discord, or if you guys are interested in an actual video series dedicated to me trying to be a better person every day, maybe that's a thing that we could be interested in that you guys might like. Be sure to let me know then. But guys, this has been Percolating with a Real Talk, and they're a bit shorter because I want to try to be a bit more concise. So hopefully this was a little bit more digestible and that you guys are enjoying it. But it's been a real talk, and guys, it's been real. It's been self-examining, and it's been real self-examining. So I'll talk to you guys later.
Don't think you're gonna bother us anymore. BRB.